Hopefully. If it works. I don't know if it works. Sometimes this is just real fucky. Can I not, okay. Like, what is this pop-up window and why do I have it? I don't get it. I don't get it. Everything is good. Everything is great. I think everything is working perfectly. Very nice. I can close this. But I should have this here. What? How do I dock this? Oh. Uh, this, oh my god. Chat back. There you go. Worst case scenario, there is no worst case scenario. I mean, there could be. I mean, it depends. Because we want good role playing. So basically, worst case scenario is that everyone comes in here and agrees on everything and leaves. Because that changes nothing. And that also means that, like, the meeting from a role playing perspective, like, if no one says anything that changes how the server is currently operating, then it's been a bad meeting, basically. Any change is good change. So in RP, our objective is to, I'm trying to make a play to absolutely decimate DMI and get everyone to declare war on them. I also know out of character that the lad who plays DMI publicly will get absolutely pissed if I do that, and that's why I try to talk to him about maybe not doing that. So I'm going to give him an out in case he doesn't want it, and if he doesn't take it, then it's his own fault. If he does take it, then we'll do our best to see if we can find some other fun roleplay thing. I mean, ultimately, no, the whole point is to get everyone else to fight the war for us. Also because looking at everyone's abilities, there is a good chance that everyone could fight. Like if everyone banded together except us and fought DMI, DMI would have a somewhat even fight. And if we joined, they'd get decimated. So. Then they would probably get absolutely decimated. There's a very small chance that that might be what we end up doing, but probably not. What else? No. The play is, like, ultimately we want to actually start fighting the symbiotes as a unified force. Like the best thing that can happen for us as the fifth is like a NATO type deal between all the factions, and we all band together to fuck over DMI, and then after that we all fuck over DMI, and then we sort of have a unified NATO military where one of the parties is elected to be the chief commander or whatever, and they sort of dictate, probably gonna be us, and they will dictate sort of who attacks who and when do we strike and that kind of thing. Essentially, we just want a coordinated strike force. I mean that I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, you can wave and shit. Yeah. Um, Now that I think about it, it might actually be better for me to not have a thumbnail on this. Because... Oh, I mean stream forbid. My stream delay is like ultra low. Goddamn. I actually don't know. Yeah, I should have. Promise. I don't know. Yeah. But that would also let them know like what we're doing. Like I'll be explaining what we're doing out of character while we're going. I don't even know if my thumbnail is that good for what this is. Also, Bubble is just vibing over there by himself, or what? Like, what? Ah, right. And you didn't give him another ship to come here and be badass in? Oh, I have a DM request. Uh, uh, Arcslime, would you please open the survival kit so that they can magically appear in vicinity? Thank you. Yeah. It's one of those events where it just feels better if you're actually here. And right now it's 5 of us and our liaison plus nothing else. Like that's it. That's it. That's straight up it. And I had 2 people say that they were about to arrive, but they have not arrived. So I don't know what's going on. They already, yeah, that's super impressive. Settings for stream. I'd put. Yeah, Kisu is Starbuck, and Starbuck is Kisu. That's fine. Yes, we finally have a bubble. RCC is. Have they arrived? Have they finally arrived? Where's the? I do not see them. I've been. What? No, if they do that, we are going to decimate them immediately. I don't think you understand. Why? Oh my god. Oh, I see the Lone Star cargo ship coming in. Nice. I literally can't see anything on it. It's just up there. None yet. They are still a kilometer away. I would like to have all service personnel that is not Slime and Timeless be on floor guard duty. Yeah, that would be very nice. That would look very ominous and menacing. That would be very good. Right by the door for now, and you can later stand right behind me. Also, my stream seems to have issues. Okay, HC is arriving soon, lads. Very good. What, you want to not be able to hit anything? Like, what? It looks, yeah, it does. I'm not being very entertaining to stream, but that's okay. We also need some oxygen. Did you fetch the bottles, Slime? Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that we actually did speak about that. There's actually two. There's one that is accessible only to us, and there's one that you can spawn in on even if you are not us. Oh my god, SimSpeed is dying. We need to convert all our ships to stations if we can. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, don't... Yeah, that would be really bad. That would be really bad. Oh my god, stream is delayed. Stream is super heavily delayed. Couple seconds. It could be worse. Could be worse. I can't write. Where are these survival kits? That is a good question. Slime, you designed this thing. Or exterior, all of them? Yeah, very good. A text. What? I can add text. Oh my... What? All my guns are off. What do you want? Which gun? Are you fucking kidding me? I'll fix it. It's fine. Gatlings. They're all set to target neutrals off. They are straight up at war with us if there's a problem here. Yeah, I just did. Yeah, off. No, they're all target neutrals off. All target neutrals off. I'll just turn them off for now. But actually, I have no idea. Also, press O so we can. Fucking, it's me. Misprint. Fucking. Missile! Also, fixing my stream while this is happening is great. Go to... oh my god, I can't even spell. Righty. Go do that. Text transform. Nope. Alignment. Center. Okay, grab. Way smaller. Put it up here. There we go. Now it almost looks good. Almost looks like I know what I'm doing. Absolutely does not. I'm not a streamer. Hello, lads. And you turn off neutral target and it's still trigger happy. Yeah. Yeah. That is a real thing sometimes. Yeah. No. The only gun I still have operational is the big missile battery, because obviously. No, because that's on click, like that's on trigger, so I have to actively tell it to shoot. When yeah, here's good. Also, lads, make sure that your broadcasting is on. We are here as peacekeepers, not as a threat. And pressing O so your signal is on, little fucking Wi-Fi icon means that everyone can see where you are within like 400 meters. 400 or 500 meters, I don't remember. Yeah. I did see you wrote hello. Yeah. If they can't hear it, can they? Hell yeah. But I'll fix that so they can. That means that something I did worked, but it also means that something is well, I forgot to set it up correctly. Here, you can just show up as grunt number 1 until you make a character. Like, don't worry about that. We'd love to have a grunt number 1. Yeah, stand menacingly with a gun. That's what most people do. Discord. Also, thank you for pointing it out, because that would be real bad. Alright, I want... No. God damn it. I want the application art thing to work, and it's not working. Oh, why is streaming so hard? I want a... Want a media source? No. I want application audio capture. There we go. And I need it to be Discord Unicoms. There we go. And now you should be able to hear what people say in Discord. Bubble, would you say something, please?
Negatory, sir. I will have to be silent like that.
Hey.
Yep, we can hear it now.
Kids. I love having Val standing behind me with a gun.
So if someone has an oxygen bottle, I might need.
Oh yeah, I have an oxygen bottle for you.
We pick up an archy ship.
Abelhand Valagus. There you go. Wait, did it just get eaten by a bar immediately?
No, that was me.
Okay, you did grab it because it was gone before it hit the floor. And I was like, what the hell is going on?
I think technically I'm an ensign.
Pretty sure you are an ensign. That might actually be. I'll
Someone
pull
else
up
is coming soon.
I'll pull up the sheet so I can actually tell.
I'm gonna pull up.
Oh. Did OBS discredit? No. Why did OBS act
petty
like
officer.
that? That's weird. Oh, petty officer. Hell yeah. High rank. Almost. I can't have the rank document. I'll stop embarrassing.
HC is showing up.
Yeah, very good. Timeless, would you go fetch them? Very good. Now everyone can hear Discord as well. Fixed. Fixed. Stream works, right? Tap Tom? Stream works?
Hold on.
Very good.
Stream works.
Stream works.
Unlike Space Engineers.
Hello, Dark Duty.
Yes, quick question.
Doesn't want to load.
You're very.
One moment. Your speaker system is real quiet. Allow me to boost the reception. There we go.
Does anyone like stand against being recorded?
Everyone here already knows that they're being streamed, which is the same.
Okay, nice then.
Just everyone is clear that it's being streamed, and
Okay.
if they don't want to have their voice recorded, they mute themselves. At least that's how it usually goes, because I have at least one person who always really prefers not being recorded, and that is fine. It's entirely understandable, actually. Very good. Shmi is also going to show up. My security is just on point. Very good. That bug is up there. Okay. How's it looking? It does look really good with all these ships, though.
Does it?
It does. If you sit in a ship, you can see it.
want to abandon my post real quick. I want to look around.
Oh, that's so nice. That does look
Oh,
really
that does
nice.
look really cool. Okay, I'm coming back.
I mean, it could definitely look even better, but it's pretty good.
GCP's here.
GCP's here? Alright, Timeless, would you show them in for their seat?
Yeah, I'm
I
just
do
going to escort
expect
them in.
DMI to show up eventually, but I do not know when, and I am getting DMs.
Well,
Slime, would you, out of character, would you please take TapTom into a different channel and help him with an issue?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
weren't like DMI supposed to already be there?
I'll go to General Voice.
I don't see DMI anywhere here. But I did have confirmation from Coulson that he would be showing up. However, I don't know. I don't know. Please allow me a moment. I shall be back.
Yeah. Alright, I'm escorting GCP in now. I'll give HC the GPS. Oh yeah. I'll give HC the GPS.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I did send it out earlier, but it's a lot easier to just send it over.
Yeah, if you want to line up for me, Slime. He's following me in.
Okay. Well, GURP. GURP. Oh yeah, out of character message. If anyone wishes to show up on the station, we have an open survival kit that you can teleport to if you want to. So if it's because you don't have a ship and you want to be here in person, which feels pretty nice, you can teleport.
What about oxygen?
We are giving out bottles because, again, fucking the server doesn't like pressurized areas, and this ship also does not want to be pressurized. So.
Can I have one, please? Wait.
It's called Survival Kit 2, and I'll now call it something else. It's called Diplo Station Open SK.
We want to take him to the open dock, Slime.
Slime is not here, he's helping TapTom.
Yeah.
This is going to be a weird mix of in-game and out-of-character things right now, because, I mean...
Who parked the big blue ship on the side of the docking port?
It couldn't be me. Couldn't be
Sure
me.
that was the one that RG. Where are you talking about the ship? My ship. That was where
Your ship.
the
Why is
Admiral-
it strapped to the only large docking port?
Because that's what RG told me to do.
Because the balls do not allow for anything else.
Really?
That's on RG.
Classic. I said park it near it.
Yeah, but I said park it on it.
Yeah, I was specifically countermanded.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This
I pulled
thing
rank,
is-
and
Direct orders from the Admiral.
yeah. So who do we have on ground right now? Who do I have in security right now?
Me, Valgus, and...
Battle Bubble. That's
Yeah,
about it.
no, I'm loading in real quick. I needed to do something.
That's all good. That's all good. I just want to know that nobody should go around being scared of someone showing up wanting us harm. That would be pretty bad.
Yes, Valgus. Thomas, have you considered my question?
Sorry, say again.
Have you considered my question?
What question?
Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't looked at it. I was flying a firefly.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I'll talk to chat a little bit.
Yes, there are.
Just so you know.
Could you give me the location of those?
Cargo ship.
So out of character things for
Which one?
chat only.
The one you blew up.
Also, some of the lovely
Pretty.
people are here listening. Probably only good.
Well, the
people.
one that's missing its engines.
Fuck
now.
it. For the stream library.
Didn't blow up the whole engine.
It's a diplomatic meeting. Slash being a great tech support. That's very good, Tapsom. The goal
I must
sort
say
of
that
is
they're
to
quite missing.
I'm trying
to
find the document.
make upset the status quo of the game right now. And
He's not going to fit anywhere.
my agenda is sort of
where can I
to
find oxygen
take
documentation?
and unite
That might
the
not
the
Yeah,
Brody will
the,
be back
the
in a minute. He's
already
actually,
sort
like,
of
out
united
fucking went on a
factions
dangerous drift.
against
Otherwise that would have been
a
catastrophic.
single
Yeah,
common
we
enemy.
have the docking port for you. Your ship's at a weird angle. We can't dock you anywhere.
Sorry, don't worry about it. We can EVA over.
And it's
So
EVA.
that's what we're doing.
It's to stop somewhere.
So trying to listen in a little bit to what's happening. Basically,
Yes,
Although-
there is
Slime
one
thought you covered-
faction that's sort of been acting a little naughty. They've been a little naughty, and we kind of want to maybe correct that. Let's see how we end up correcting that. But they tend to not being the most diplomatic people I've ever met, and so there is somewhat of a chance that they will automatically resolve this goal of mine by themselves. If they do that, I will not complain. However, if they choose not to, I don't think we should.
He'll be back in a minute, I'm sure.
No, I'm not going to unite us with DMI. That is the whole point.
Oh.
I'm going to unite us against DMI. If all goes to plan. But of course, anything I say when I muted on Discord is also out of character shit. So y'all don't know this if you're actually playing on GURP. But the plan is to either unite everyone against DMI, or if DMI, like, if he doesn't want a war, I don't think we should force him into it, because obviously it's a lot of time spent, and maybe he wants to save his ships and stuff. So, you know, he can be cooperative, and if he's cooperative, we'll see if we can make a deal. And if we can't make a deal, then we'll see what happens. Ultimately, we just need to cause some chaos and do some dumb shit.
No, I didn't.
So that's the
so
plan.
I think so.
We boarded a bunker with that.
This one is actually from that mission.
Yeah, this is one of the surviving ones.
Oh.
This one was in storage on the ship.
Yeah.
Never got used in the mission, but it was there.
We are
It's
so
nice.
professional, huh, guys?
This is just a ship meetup. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's just a ship. It's just a ship meetup. I mean, it looks so good. I'm gonna need this for thumbnails for later. Like, this is so good. The switch signal
You know what?
stuff. Oh my god.
Let me get my shuttle.
Yeah. Okay. Bring the shuttle down.
The little flying igloo.
Just hope no fucking symbiote shows up. That would be pretty bad.
Oh yeah, that would be.
Yeah,
I think we got the stuff to deal with it.
It would also be pretty fun if they did. Not gonna lie.
Take place in any of the
We have like
locations.
more than enough firepower to deal with most things here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, as soon as
Yeah.
it's in 2 kilometers range, it's just exploding. Like,
Just saying, but if I get
This will be brought up at the meeting. Do not.
like if someone knocks on my ship, it will start to fire. just saying.
Oh, I'm getting all of the emotes ready.
Oh, I should do.
Yeah.
Clusters are on.
Oh, point down. That is such a good emote. Just point. You hear what I'm saying? Points down.
Where do we get the emotes from?
When you sit in the chair and you press G to get like you would in a pilot seat. You just only get emotes, and you can drag them into your hotbar. Not all of them work great while you're sitting, but it's pretty good.
Right. Yeah. Any diplomats can sit in the blue designated areas. If you're here for watching the debate, you go into the door, up the stairs, and you can see there.
I have the
Alright,
best
back.
crew. I have the
I
best
need to
crew.
turn off the beacon.
Oh,
I'm
the
looking
igloo.
for an available landing pad, maybe.
There should be. I think 4 and 3 are still available.
3 and 4? Yeah, they are. I'm going on the 4th.
Yeah.
Atlas, scout.
Thank you.
Just gonna check if there's any factions we're currently actively at war with. No, only SPRT.
Thank you.
Velicus, if you could
We're-
take over guarding duty for a second.
Very good.
I
Very
have
good.
Yeah. I got you.
do something real quick.
Dumb question. Where do I spawn in?
You spawn in on the survival kit that is called Diplo Station Public Spawn or something like that.
We just put flip Diplo.
Counterpoint.
Exterior.
Tom, if you're not spawning in yet, could you spawn into the medbay of the Sacker? You can get equipped
What?
right away. The Saker. What fucking it's called?
No, I did
What?
not hear the name at all.
You
Could
can't
please
actually
repeat
hear-
that?
Mhm.
I did not hear the name at all. Could you please repeat that?
Saker. Medbay Saker. That one.
Seeker.
Medbay.
Saker.
Okay.
Something like that.
I do like the igloo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you could.
it's nice.
I'm gonna make a jump real quick to the subway station, pick up some stuff. You can get armed. Well,
You can go in if you want.
stuff.
Okay. I popped gain on application audio, so maybe you can hear Discord slightly
Ah.
better now. I
Very
don't
nice.
know. I'm not good at this.
Nice.
Tap Tom,
It's
Yes.
supposed to be
you're watching
like
the
an
stream, right?
podcast.
How is sound
Yes.
volumes for people in Discord talking? And then
Whoa, give me a sec.
let's
I'll
talk
get
about
us
some
to
random
tell you.
shit.
May
It's
I
alright
get
for
my
me.
last bottle,
Yeah.
please?
So Tom, you ready to spawn in yet, or?
I'm
Do you need
spawning
oxygen?
in as we
Let me
speak.
find some.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think.
Yes, please.
Oh, 2. Oh.
I'll increase
Oxygen.
the.
need
I'll
to
put a little
turn
more
the
gain on. Put a little more gain on Discord. I
There
might
you
just
go.
be loud.
Either I'm about to spawn in or I'm about to get
Sure.
kicked out of the game.
Just spawn in. It'll be good.
Thanks. That's
Okay.
way enough. Just trying to get some.
Incognito would be like fifth is professional. Not gonna lie. No,
No, we're not.
You've been like
not in my book. Not in my book. This is far from professional. Most professional man here is Sval. He's standing over the corner, just watching my back. Fucking love this guy.
That's all.
Petty Officer
Yeah.
Valagas.
Still spawning in. I
Bubble.
apologize for
Get
the
him.
inconvenience.
I'm running out of energy. I might need someone to take over guard duty. So
Sit in the chair real quick.
You can
Oh, does
sit
that
in the
work?
chair.
Yeah, that works.
it does work. Okay.
Yes. Tom, I want you to take a seat immediately. Don't care where. Don't just take one.
Let
Come
me
here.
just find a seat. Wait, nope.
Come here. Up.
Just do.
Take
Y'all
the
got
chair.
this. Okay, so
Yes.
has all parties actually arrived at station at this point, or are we still waiting for more people? Because I'm running
Wait
out of
for
coffee
HC.
really fast here.
Just so you guys
Okay,
know.
Lost is making final jump. Okay,
Lost-
that's
He
great.
is on its way.
Foxy
Size
can't attend.
I'll be there, but in a little bit later.
That's all
Foxy
good.
can't attend.
I'll still be connected here, though.
Very good. Very good. So we're almost there. It's just meeting was supposed to. I don't know. I don't.
This was
It's,
start an hour ago.
no, it's supposed to start 8 minutes ago.
We're still.
Hang on, let me
4
get
minutes
in
to
the-
last jump from HC. Yeah, we can. We'll hold it for 10 minutes. It's very understandable. The galaxy is very vast.
There's only me for like.
If anyone needs pickup, I can go get them.
RCC cannot attend. I'm the only one.
Okay. Holy shit! Like someone is not ready for. See, Thomas, could you go fetch Dawn, please?
Already going. Where is
Very
Dawn?
good.
He's coming.
Oh, sorry, I'm coming through now with Dodo.
Very good. Very good.
Are you on the TL?
This looks fucking sick, by the way. Great work designing this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Slime and Timeless did an
Absolutely
outstanding
fantastic.
job. Yeah. If you are representing your faction or alliance, take a seat in the middle, and anyone here who's a supporter or onlooker can take a seat or a standing slot on the balcony. An out of character note is that this station cannot be pressurized, also because sim speed, but also because something's just wrong with it and we can't fix it. We don't know what it is. So if you're about to suffocate, please ask 5th personnel for oxygen bottles, and we'll swing by with one.
I'll hint him out just in defense.
Yeah, slime got us covered.
Brings a whole new meeting to stepping out of the meeting for a breath of fresh air.
It's like, I'm gonna take an oxygen break, lads. This guy, can we take 5? I need some oxygen. Yeah.
Kisu's already
There you
in.
go.
My God. Kisu needs a bottle. Slime, could you come get fetch a bottle for Starbuck?
Wait, is UNSC flying here with no jump drive?
I fucking hope not.
Highly likely, honestly, because only a brand new
So
faction.
Tapson, could you hop out and come?
It's not like
Are they
everyone has
ever going
asked
to
people
get
if they need it, like, to get resupplied.
How long would that take them?
RG, Tom, grab a rifle from the armory here. What?
Rifle?
A rifle, yeah.
Yep,
I will
we're on
get
security
you-
detail.
you-
Real quick.
Hey,
There's only ice in
issue.
here. Go towards show connected inventories and you will see that.
Oh, we have more ships arriving. Oh my God, I can't get over how amazing it looks every time a ship just pulls up. Low simp speed makes jump drives slower.
No.
Simp speed.
Simp speed.
Yes.
There it is, yeah.
Uh.
Singular magazine.
I can't find the rifle.
Guys,
You
we-
can, that's fine. Tapton, you see a little helmet, right?
Yes.
You see a little box next to it. Click it.
there's about to be a battle.
Battle of
That's,
Whips.
There, all my magazines.
I think I found something.
Alright, Tapton.
I don't know if you'll be able to dock there, Tall, but you can certainly try.
I mean,
Tapton,
Timeless, would you help guide them in?
I don't even know what
Yes.
connector is on this ship.
there. No.
I think
Where's
he's just
the
gonna land
connector?
with the landing gear. I think it's just landing gear.
Oh, I see where it is. Yeah, that's fine.
Tapton, if you would. Yeah. Inventory. There. Drop item. Come to
How many of you are Dutch? I think it's 2 people?
believe so.
Awesome.
Yeah,
All
2
those
people.
lamps.
2 people are Dutch.
And in the beginning.
Where'd they go?
No, they got consumed by the
Where did
bomb.
you go?
I'll put them. Fuck, I will put them in the.
This over to comms global.
Here, I'll put them in this. In the
There we go. And sci-fi is about to show up. That's very good. About to have everyone here. Sim speed
Got
is
your ammunition, you
dying.
got your gun, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
Camille.
Do you remember to convert all your ships to stations, please?
Oh, I didn't. Hang on.
Just for
Do it?
sim speed. If it's stationary for like, is it 15 minutes? It auto stations it. So.
Yep.
But I think sim speed would greatly appreciate that we just try. It's at 0.75 right now, which is honestly not that bad.
given
But
the amount
HG
of
has
ships.
already yelled at me way too much today, so
And
don't want any more visits.
Tapton, if you could take a seat again.
Hi.
What?
Just
Fucking mosquitoes. Space mosquitoes.
Server's almost full.
Oh, really?
Is it actually?
The 6 more slot.
23, 25 people, yeah.
Oh god.
Tom, if you could find a seat.
I found the scene.
GURP
Yep, you're
life.
shooting.
Zealand style.
Jumping in 3, 2, 1.
Hit
Oh
the
yeah,
leg,
we're
like,
at
smacking
23
his leg
players.
somewhere.
Oh god. Oh,
Am I
that's
like the
terrifying.
only-
Do you want me
Okay.
to? Do you want to welcome aboard, Archie?
Who is boarding currently?
T.L.
T.L. If you can just guide them in, please. But everyone is of course welcome.
Imminent collision.
An
IHE.
empty parked person.
Swear to God.
Everyone is good. Everyone is great. Everything is great.
Oh my. Is that a fucking unicorn?
Swear to God.
Like, they just slapped a couple.
What's happening?
All right.
They just slapped a bunch of ray guns to a ship.
Oh.
Looks like a unicorn.
Oh God, I forgot to update the map. God damn it.
Oh,
Sci-fi just going, I am not Phoenix. We just maybe I
Yeah,
can
almost smashed into our ship.
Did I? Yeah, I did update the ship. I did update the map. I
Actions.
forgot.
to join.
If you notice in the middle, it's actual the GURP map.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so sick. I love
Yeah,
what you did with the
it's
floor.
Insane.
Yeah,
The
that's
whole thing is
great.
fucking genuinely insane.
Yeah.
Unbelievably cool job.
God, who's crashing?
I swear. I love how we're blatantly breaking the in-character rule of writing anything without the // to help a new guy. It's great. I love that.
Oh yeah.
I love that we're nice. This is my first time on multiplayer. Oh, I want to I want to take him in and help him, but we can't have any more players in our faction. We're so capped off. It's super bad.
Tom, if you could come up to the bridge real quick. If you're not spacing around. Yeah, here. No, that's not the bridge.
I know that's not the bridge. I still haven't been able to retrieve the rifle itself.
Oh, you
For
still
some
want the
reason.
rifle itself.
Tap Tom is doing great. Want to say Tap Tom is doing very great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
Tap
love
Tom,
how
I wanna
Valagus has
give you
not
my rifle.
complained once about just standing in the corner.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, dumb question.
That's
Why
right.
is it not?
I will give you
Can't
the.
I take
I will give you the rifle. Real quick.
Okay.
There.
Where's
rifle is in
Saigon?
there now, please. Select it.
He went inside, I think.
He's just
You're
to the right
up.
of me.
Yeah, he's
Hi.
inside.
Yep.
Yes.
Right, I'll just mention it once again. If you're a faction leader, you are entitled to one of the blue seats down on the lower level. And if you're a spectator or a supporter of one of these factions, you can take a seat or a standing slot on the balcony up above. And also, please do not bring any weaponry inside the conference hall. Security is handled by the 5th, and anyone who shows aggression will be
Oh shit, my bad. I put my rocket launcher back.
that would be appreciated.
Highly accelerated lead poisoning.
We would prefer to apprehend and put people before a trial, but of course that is an option.
Tap Tom, if you could follow, equip your rifle.
No.
Comes. We are so many people in this chat.
Come
It's
join me, Tap
great.
Tom.
Okay.
Stand by the door and guard the
Take
entrance.
your place here.
There's a stream of.
Yep, just place here, stand still.
Launch was drawn.
Oh, Tap Tom still hasn't had the chance to change his character to a shade of blue.
So,
He's a bubble. Let's see, where did I put the document? Nowhere apparently. Bubble doesn't even have a rank. Nice.
I do outrank all of you now. Yeah, I like being secretive.
Okay.
Also,
Oh, forgot something.
Is everyone? Are we finally
Oh
about to be
my
ready?
God.
No, Doug did it.
Seems speed is
Sim speed is atrocious. We have
Yep.
literally all of the biggest, not all of the biggest ships, but a good chunk of the big ships on the server all in the same spot.
Yeah. Let me just like I need to modify something on my ship because like if someone locks me, I'll be shooting like everyone. So
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I
that
might want to.
let's
I
fix that.
should.
I mean, we're at 0.7.7, like we're at 0.77. That's pretty good for sim speed, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Indeed.
it's average for us.
It's mainly spikes that are keeping us down, actually. Okay. The amount of time spent just prepping is...
Target neutral are off. Let me check this.
Oh, slime.
Yeah.
Neutrals are-
You know, on the brawler.
Yeah.
I never armed the rockets. It's got no ammo.
Oh.
I never did with this version.
You lot continue to amaze me.
Good. Set.
Mr. Incognito said that we seemed very professional earlier, but I just want to say,
To
well,
be fair, we never take it into battle. It has an order
True.
sector on it.
it is more like a very fancy like mini transport.
Here I am.
Wait, no, slime. This is your ship. Why isn't the rockets on it?
Good one.
Mm.
Or
I
is there
used
any
to-
more nearby where I can change my
Guys,
skin color?
I just have a slight.
yes.
No,
Tatom, follow me.
Unfortunately
if
not.
you would.
Incognito is just like, yeah, I take that back. We're appropriately professional. That is true. We are appropriately professional, which also means when we go in character in like a minute,
There's just
hopefully.
a slight issue with the map, guys.
You
Yeah.
do want to kind of
We can't see
close
it.
these things behind you.
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
Just
Just there.
security risk.
What?
And
look in media. That's my current view of the map.
so,
Oh
Right.
yeah, no, you have to stand
Get what
up,
you're
kind
given.
of. But that's all right.
Even when standing, you don't really see it. You need to be like on the edge.
To be fair,
You also
The
have a
map
very
was put in
unlucky
after.
seat. I can see about 2/3 from my seat. But the seat is not the most important thing. The most important thing
I
is the
can just see,
people.
like,
The
I
people
can
who
just see a black triangle.
the people
Yeah.
who make the decisions. We are the important
all.
ones, right?
Right.
follow
I
me?
lost you. I
Yes.
lost you.
it was
Okay,
either the map or just a white floor, so.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do a pixel art of the fifth flag.
I think you should have made like
Yeah.
well,
I would
not
be pretty
pixel
sick,
art,
though.
but
Here?
something that could have been cool, like
Bobo, I can't see you on
would
your
have
list.
been
Yeah, I'm
to
here.
have a
I'm
running
sunset
out of energy
Where
again.
now?
like that.
Front of you. If
Yeah.
you could return to the Sacker.
Oh wait, I'll just go up here.
Yeah.
Is everyone is all of the faction representatives ready? Are we waiting for anyone, Timeless? Are we escorting anyone?
DM. You said DMI would be here, but
Yeah, well, they're not, so I suppose we're
Oh.
proceeding without them. If
Yep.
if no one except DMI is awaiting arrival,
Yeah, you can enter the ship, that's all.
okay.
I
Shall we
unless
shall we commence with the meeting? In that
unless
case?
you want to wait for the UNSC,
What is their ETA?
I don't see them anymore. They were like 100
great.
kilometers out last time I checked.
I
and
think we're
this
just
was-
gonna
Look,
proceed
like,
with the
yeah,
meeting. They can watch the
yeah.
stream if they have something to say.
You're very good.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, where's the stream?
Well, I mean, you're here, but I am streaming on YouTube. The whole thing.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not physically there. I'm just in the voice call.
Yeah. If you wish
I'll
to
be there
see,
in like
you can.
10 minutes.
In #media, the stream is there. I mean, it's not it's not a lot more than just looking at people, but I suppose
I just wanted to see some sexy ships.
yeah, I can show you the sexy ships 100%. I just need
hell
to
yeah.
reapply this so I can see all my stuffs. Well,
I think we're ready to begin then.
yes.
Yeah, I'll be joining physically in like 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, Lost is ready, HE, LAS, RCC, SFC is ready. I suppose it is time to commence the meeting. Very good. I'm very happy to see this many representatives from the system arrive on such short notice, a matter of days. Very, very happy to see this much backing for what I essentially believe is a quite lacking coordination, since we're all here for a common goal. As far as I understand, we are in fact in the system where the symbiotes originate, and we are in fact here to end the threat that they are to everyone and everyone's life. And so I was taken aback by the lack of coordination when I awoke from my slumber. And so this meeting has been called in order to perhaps rectify this issue. And therefore I would like to call this meeting open. On our agenda is 3 points. The first of which is internal conflict, the second of which is the symbiotes, and the third is how we wish to move forward once this meeting is over. I regret to be informed that DMI has not shown up yet, despite confirmation from Coulson that they would show up. And so the first point might be somewhat difficult to discuss without them, as they are somewhat of a major party in this internal conflict. But I would like to start off by discussing the large defensive pact that has been formed. And to do that, I would like to ask Laz why, if you may perhaps open up with a statement as to why this defensive pact has been established to begin with.
Yeah, I think it appears to me that the defensive pact consists mainly of minor factions who, due to the aggressive and expansionist rhetoric put forward by DMI, have felt that rather than entering into a sort of military alliance, an agreement to come to each other's aid should we come under any form of aggressive pressure was sort of put in place. Now, I have been monitoring the Unicom's channel. I know there are let's say members of it who seem to be more invested in arguments, to put that politically. For us, we, as a small faction, just intend on continuing to provide medical aid as well as any services like printing or munitions provision to factions who are larger than us, who have bigger teeth, can engage the symbiotes. So, you know, for us, it's a purely defensive move. One that I didn't really necessarily feel was necessary to take, especially not when after having already aligned with Sol Rep, but I don't really know what's happening with Sol Rep and the Empire at the moment either. There seems to be a bit of miscommunication or disarray there too. So it seems to be something that these minor factions have aligned themselves with purely out of protection.
Very good. That makes a lot of sense to me. Also, would you please elaborate on this point of Sol Rep and the Damascan Empire? I'm afraid I haven't been introduced to either, as I awoke sadly too late and is somewhat new to this system, despite my relatively long history with many of the factions present at this meeting.
I don't know that I'm the right person to start answering that. We are quite new to the system ourselves and haven't been exposed to the politics between the two mega factions that occurred in their home system, so I'm more than happy to give the floor to somebody who has more intel there.
Is there anyone who would like to explain this apparent alliances present in the system? Or is consensus that we don't really know what they're actually doing?
I mean, from what we've been able to ascertain, the two factions are hailing from a different sector elsewhere, couldn't tell you where. And whatever inter-faction rivalry is taking place there maybe has taken a backseat here, maybe it's just a Cold War that's taken on between the two of them. Don't know. But as far as we have been informed, both of these mega factions had dispatched fleets as well as independent agents to come here to tackle the symbiotes at home base.
Very well. Might I inquire the broader assembly as to whether we really require the assistance of these two large independent alliances who has done very little for us and also hasn't done anything to cause us to come here. As far as I understand, we're all here because of a shared belief that these symbiotes must be dealt with, and thus I am somewhat confused that we're relying on outside alliances who has not dealt with this issue as long as some of us has. Is there any inherent benefit to dealing with these larger alliances and aligning themselves with this alliance?
May I answer?
Absolutely.
Yes. So these two super alliances are exactly what they say. They're super alliances. They're powerful. Symbiotes are like, I think you know it already, but symbiotes are terrifying. I'll say it like that. They can corrupt ships. They can corrupt people. I think we need to be backed by larger alliances like these ones.
Very good. I will take that into account. So with that cleared up, the real question to ask is perhaps if the defensive pact, because as far as I can tell, there is some hostilities between the two super alliances, and I am unsure of whether the defensive pact that has been established crosses these two alliances, and also what the consequence would be if there were to break out a war between these two alliances. This might not be important right now, and hopefully it never will be. I'm simply questioning the necessity for both the alliances and the defensive pact, as we are supposedly all here for the same goal.
Perhaps Laz can answer that question. Do the signatories have any guidelines as to conflicting loyalties?
I couldn't tell you. From what I do know, the defensive pact, as it currently stands, is made up of factions representing members of these larger alliances and people who are completely independent, who have grievances with them, and people who have close relations. I think what's important is that the further away you get from the heart of whatever political discourse is occurring, the less it really matters. And here in this system, the overarching threat is the symbiotes. So whatever treaties or whatever you want to call it are in place there in the larger picture really don't have a whole lot of bearing here. And frankly, as some of the newest members of Sol Rep, that was a move that was made out of, again, mutual protection, making friends, and in a rather dangerous system, finding some alliance. So I frankly couldn't care less about any previous politics that have taken place. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not from their home system. I'm not from the Damascus system, I believe it's called. So for me, it's combating the symbiotes, and that's kind of what I want to talk about more here.
Very good. That makes a lot of sense to me. Might I propose then that perhaps later in the meeting we could discuss expanding this defensive alliance, as I believe it may be to everyone's best interest that we are working together against this common enemy, and thus perhaps joining a defensive alliance together, it would prevent us from starting any internal conflict that would halt our ultimate goal of defeating the symbiotes. Although, as I said, perhaps that should be held on for the last point, which means we are now at the prisoner of war situation, which I am very lacking in understanding, and I'm also only bringing it up because that seems to be one of the large grievances that DMI has, which is the point after this. And so, is there anyone who has any idea where this problem starts and ends? Because as far as I can tell, it's all over the place.
If anybody's closer to the issue, please feel free to correct me, but having reviewed Unicoms, I believe this actually started over land grievances on Anteros. That's what provoked the war in the first place between the Obsidian Lotus and DMI, I want to say. And then it got very, very confusing. It got very, very Archduke Ferdinand. in that everyone was declaring war on each other. Dark Matter Corporation got involved over names. MC got involved. Do I mean MC? There's so many bloody names at this point.
Because
I
I
don't know.
also have conflicting reports on my desk from my officers stating that both there are, in fact, still prisoners of war present in DMI camps, and also that there are absolutely no prisoners of war present in any camps
Actually,
whatsoever.
I can attest to that with recent pictographic evidence. Myself and an ally who I will maintain discretion over who it is at this time, unless they should indicate that they would like to be brought under the spotlight at all. We actually recently flew over the research facility in question, and we have photographs as recent as 5 days ago of the internment camp still with prisoners of war in actually an open air internment camp less than 100 meters away from a facility that supposedly contains live symbiote sample.
Now that does sound like a problem to me. Is there anyone else who can confirm these findings?
I mean, didn't they mention they were trying to control them? It's
Yes.
not a secret that they said this.
I do have a similar report. Yes. That is certainly worrying.
I think they stated
They
it
said it.
publicly.
Yeah.
Publicly in Unicoms, that's correct. I think there are two concerns here. One is that they are tangling with something that is perhaps better left untouched. The second being the containment of the prisoners of war in such close vicinity to said facility. I think it is possibly putting those prisoners at risk.
I would like to point out the fact that they are not only putting these prisoners of war at risk, who has rights, at least according to Seerish law, but also the fact that the symbiotes might very well spread and mutate through these prisoners of war, which is, to be quite frank, possibly detrimental to the rest of us, as they are literally providing them breeding ground. And I can't help but find this absolutely terrifying.
Here.
That brings up the question of what to do with DMI. I would love to hear from a DMI representative in case they are not doing what we're all thinking that they are doing, but it seems that they are refusing to show up to defend their own argument, and thus it's a bit hard to get a nuanced picture on this, but I don't think we can let this matter lie as it is now.
I'm going to transmit over the Unicom's frequency the image in question. I have redacted some information at the top of the camera there just for the privacy of my friend, say. But that is the camp, as you see. On the left-hand side, there is the open air facility with the research facility in the center, and then on the right, that's what we believe to be hydrogen storage. But you can see the proximity between that open air internment section research facility.
That certainly does seem somewhat worrying. To be frank, I am somewhat disturbed by their rhetoric in open comms, and their hostile nature does not appeal to my somewhat sensible approach to life. I am somewhat at an impasse on what to do with them, because on one hand they seem rather capable, given that they have currently have control over 10 sectors in the system, which does prove some capacity for capability. However, I'm not sure I like that anymore, especially with these new revelations that has been made here tonight. How does the rest of the system feel about this?
Hard to see a way to push DMI into behaving more humanely with a strongly worded letter, but anything more than that, risks entangling people in the petty politics that have already bogged down this system. I'm not quite sure what the solution is.
I agree. However, I find it hard to see an efficient way of dealing with the symbiotes if we have to constantly be wary of people who are supposedly on our side.
I think a degree of transparency regarding research would be a solid first step. There are differing opinions, vastly differing opinions throughout lots of different factions in this sector as to whether the symbiotes should be destroyed in nuclear hellfire at all costs. Should they be researched and experimented on? If so, to what extent should that happen? I think that's something that we should discuss in this meeting. The facility there, and I have just forwarded further imagery. That's one of the landing facilities just nearby the structure posted previously. One thing that concerns me is that having a research facility so close to an open internment camp, and this is of course purely speculative, it does rather look like a holding cage for human test subjects. You know, right next to it. I don't really understand the need to create an open air internment camp when, you know, temporary habitation facility would just be provided as and for as and when the prisoners of war can be returned to their respective factions. It's quite concerning, and I think that lack of transparency, or that constant wondering what everybody is doing, is certainly contributing to the level of distrust. I'm not necessarily personally opposed to researching the symbiotes for our own understanding of how to defeat them. However, adapting them to be, you know, used for profit or used in creation of weaponry is a whole different matter. I don't know what the different factions are intending to do, and that's a huge factor.
Perhaps we should discuss that next then. If nobody has any solid opinions on handling DMI.
I don't.
If I may.
It's hard to do anything when they're not here, to be honest. So
We can do. That is true. Although that very much depends on doing something, what you put in that, because there are several options open to us depending on how harsh we wish to be. There's also the question of monetary assistance for DMI, and at such a meeting as this, we could decide that we unanimously will not provide them any funds for their experiments, for example, so long as they have an internment camp so close to the research facility. We could, for example, make it demand that they will move any prison camps or any life-sustaining facilities away from the research center before sending any kind of funds. That would be an option. Personally, I am quite fond of this option, as it takes most of my grievances away, except of course for their somewhat hostile behavior towards most alliances, and also the fact that they apparently do not want to stand up for, well, their own word by not showing up tonight. I think that sends a pretty clear message about what they think about the rest of us.
May I add something?
You may.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
I think. That's it. I forgot what I was about to say. I think that just not giving them monetary compensation or monetary participation or something is not the good way to go. I think we should go with trade sanctions.
Trade sanctions. Have they requested any trade recently?
We didn't, but that's a good point. We didn't.
Mostly because I'd like to impose a sanction that would actually influence them in some way or other, and as far as I can tell, they're not relying on any form of compensation except for monetary compensation currently, and so a sanction regarding goods or transportation or rights for mining would not impose that big of an incentive to be cooperative for them.
I mean,
Has-
Actually, I might know something is that they rely a lot on buying hydrogen.
yes, this maybe
Especially
we know
during
who their
war
suppliers
times.
are.
maybe the ores, the Monari ores. I think we could block them on that point too.
We do have our leading ice provider with us currently. Shmi, would you be open to a trade blockade against DMI, perhaps with some compensation from the rest of the system for a loss of income?
Did you just call me Shmi?
Shmi. I don't know how to fucking say it, bro. I'm sorry.
Scheme.
Scheme. I am sorry. It's right. I'm
But
tired.
yeah, I mean, I'm fine. They haven't ever asked me to trade, and if they asked me, I'm more than fine with not trading with them. But obviously, my faction is like main export and monetary income is selling hydrogen. So giving up such a huge potential gain would be not ideal for us, but I am willing to kind of negotiate that.
Timeless.
Yes, sir.
We are currently ramping up our requirement for ice with our fleet, correct?
Yes.
Could we divert some of our purchasing to ice to compensate for their loss in profits?
We can.
Would that be acceptable to you, Scheme?
Yep, absolutely.
It's worth bearing in mind that somebody will have to reach out to the Bowery as well as a secondary provider of ice, hydrogen, other gases in the system, because
that is a very good point.
If they're not also on board with with this embargo, then that's just their profit margin widen.
Perhaps we should come up with some sanctions for the Bowery in case they do not want to align with our decisions. Perhaps we should impose a trade embargo on the Bowery, as I've seen them be very reliant on trade, if they do not comply with our trade embargo for DMI. Would that be agreeable?
I as far as I know that the Bowery is currently like slowly stepping away from the hydrogen sales. They are still selling, but not as much as before. And as I mentioned, they are trying to move away from that market.
We know for sure who has been providing hydrogen to DMI?
Yes, would you please elaborate on this?
No, that was a question. Do we know?
Oh, do we know for sure? That's a good
that
question.
actually was ICE or the Bowery or someone specifically?
Well, I know that Bowery has sold to them before, but like I mentioned, they are moving away from the sales, the hydrogen market. So I guess, as far as I know, once the Bowery does stop selling hydrogen, then it'll only be me and well, my faction.
I may add that DMI. Oh, DMI. Here we go. Not DMI. LCC will sell like raw materials, so we might sell hydrogen too. Of course, we won't sell to DMI as long as they have prisons of war.
So
yeah, and that's actually what you just said there is really important as well. I think the embargo has to have an objective to accomplish, right? So we have to establish what that is. For us, it's currently that the prisoners of war either must be provided for if a release can't be negotiated, or else should be released immediately back to their home factions. I'd prefer the latter.
I would also like to add that any facility sustaining life within 20 kilometers of the research facility should be relocated, as that is a serious concern for the 5th.
If I may.
Greetings, this is Comms Officer Tequila, appointed by the Solar Public Expedition Fleet, representing the interests of the Solar Public Expedition Fleet, appointed by the Fleet Admiral Alexander Hawthorne to attend this meeting today.
Very good to have you. Incognito, you were about to say yes?
Yeah, my point being, the prisoners are not the main concern. While I agree that the prisoners of war are acceptable, especially when they wanted to deport them, which I would like to inform you is a form of genocide, the main problem with DMI is their expansionist and quite arrogant and aggressive behavior. The sole reason we and UGK created the original defensive pact was because of this. They were trying to impose very unreasonable things on us, living on Reich, and they seem to mostly abandon that, but their diplomacy is mostly very aggressive. So that's why we decided to expand our alliance for the HC and LAS. Also the work hazard crew, and I think we have a new applicant. I can't remember the name, I'm sorry. But I would say the best answer to DMI would be to make the alliance as broad as possible, to the point where any sort of attack on the alliance would be assisted suicide to DMI.
I agree with the statement of DMI's quite hostile approach to diplomacy, and also that it is quite worrying with the amount of expansion that they have committed to. I also look quite favorably on your proposal of a larger defensive pact. It would certainly assure the security and ability to do our actual goal in the system.
Also, because
Solar
we were
Repub-
listening, we can tell you that the, let's say, alliances towards Sorep and the Empire doesn't mean anything to us. So we expect the members of our alliance to not attack each other. So if there happens to be a war between Sorep and Danep, I would expect our members not to attack each other and don't participate in this war, because it would be pointless. We are here for the symbiotes, not to fight each other.
Well, I agree with that
Out of
consensus. Have you
cur-
heard from the faction leaders of Sorep or Demep? They likely have demands on people who have pledged to them, and your defensive pact members might be pulled in different directions.
Well, that is ultimately to them, but I would say we share common interests here, and that is the extermination of symbiotes. If there was to be a conflict between Sorep and Danep, well, let's just say that should be their problem, not ours. We are here to end the threat, not to make it stronger by fighting among each other.
With all
I
due
can fully
respect,
assure you that the
Incognito,
Solar Republic is here in order to exterminate the symbiote threat. Do not worry about that.
I will take you up on that word.
Unlike
Diablo,
some who, yeah.
I was just going to say, Diablo, I believe you were going to say something as well.
Well, I was going to say I agree with Incognito, but the concern remains until our SREF representative said something that being a servant of two masters can be problematic if you are pledged to both a larger alliance as well as this defensive treaty.
Well, that can be fixed by introducing some form of a, let's say, treaty among us. Right now, the defensive pact is pure
Among us?
defensive. We have a separate diplomacy, separate everything. We could possibly make our faction members or our potential allies in the future swear that they won't attack each other, even if their mother factions, meaning Sorep and Danep, were to declare war on each other.
I have too many things to look at the same time. I apologize. So, let's summarize. We all agree on imposing trade sanctions on DMI until they find a solution to the prisoner of war issue, as well as handling some transparency with the research that is ongoing?
What exactly would be the extent of these sanctions?
Absolutely no ice or hydrogen sold to DMI.
I would also add the
As-
Nectarach, Neutronium, and the Trinium, I think it is, to the sanctions.
Yes, that is
Timeless,
correct.
would you write this down, please?
Maybe not.
However, I don't see. Never mind.
I think it would just be cleaner to say no trade with DMI at all.
That could be possibility too.
Is that agreeable across the board?
We can concur.
May I just say something to you? DMI is a faction which seems to not care about. How should I put this without insulting them?
Look, opinion?
They are a very provocable faction. They seem to rule through force. While we will not oppose any sanctions, nor will we take part in them, as we do not trade with DMI in the first place, we would urge you to have caution as to not provoke them. Of course, we would not assist them in a conflict if that will happen. We simply do want to avoid any conflict to happen in the first place in this scenario, if you understand what I mean.
Perhaps
I must apologize too, but if we are here just to look at the ways we don't provoke them, nothing will not change. We kinda need to provoke them. Either they are going to comply, or they are going to have to declare war. I am not a fan of war, but if I have to, I will fight it.
Looking at their actions in the past, a war with them could be a catastrophe for a faction not used to war. Especially their prisoner handling.
As far as
I think, frankly, if we're talking about war at all, then we're taking this talk in the wrong direction. I don't see any DMI done so far to more than saber rattling. I don't take their request for financial aid to be a serious request. Frankly, I don't know what to take. But while they are aggressive and while they are expansionist, I don't believe that they pose an military. I think that they are bullyish in the way that they operate, and I think that can sow a lot of discomfort. When we first arrived in the system, for example, first establishing our headquarters, we were subjected to a full facility search in the name of the peace of the sector, which frankly put our noses out quite considerably. So we've been on our radar for a long time as a threat. But it's bully behavior, that's all. So far, no bullets have been fired. I think as long as we can come to a mutual agreement that they are, towards Orza, I know that they have had conflict.
Wait, you are cutting out extremely? Is that an issue for everyone, or?
No, it's just you. I'm afraid it's just you.
It's just me.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, shit.
I can lean closer to the microphone as well in case it.
No, I can hear it just perfectly.
This is the equivalent of counting pixels on an image, but with audio. Jesus Christ.
Okay. May I interject then? I have to agree with Dawn. However, I also think we should prepare ourselves for an eventuality where they could be aggressive in retaliation to any decision we make. In addition to that, while I think a great alliance in that case might be a little over the top, I can also see why some people might be frightened by them to an extent where they may fear for their own operational ability, and so I think I'd like to propose possibly expanding on the defensive alliance.
Right, so on the topic of DMI not having shed any blood, I'm afraid your memory is quite short. They've already been at war in the system against the Obsidian Lotus.
Oh, I know, I remember.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, since then, and since their aggressive rhetoric has ramped up, because there was a long period there where they quietened down. They're yet to fire another bullet, but I do agree they have shown a track record that they are willing to engage in aggressive action. I actually don't remember who instigated that war, like who fired the first bullet, but I do know it was complicated and a lot of people were involved.
Might I propose?
Theo were trying to unjustly take control over Antares. I believe that DMI at the time had issues with that, so did we.
Might I propose that we, of course, keep their prior behavior in mind, but allow them a second chance by perhaps assuring our own safety and allowing them a foot in the door by perhaps establishing a defensive pact, perhaps between the very council that we're in now, in case they do have interest in war across the system, but also this would not necessarily force them or force us into an offensive war with them. I hope that this could perhaps allow us to rest easy on this issue, knowing that we would have the rest of the system's backing in case any war would break out with DMI. And this might also work as a deterrent to DMI so that they will not declare war on any of us, as I don't believe anyone in this system would be ready to fight such a large-scale war alone, especially.
I'm afraid you will be mistaken.
In that case, would our security not be ensured by the much greater power projection we would have as a unified force?
Yes, the power would indeed increase.
That's the whole point why we decided to negotiate the alliance. It was for that point, for that reason, the RG mentioned to the fact that there are safety in numbers. Right now, we have 5 members, 6 is pending right now, vote is being called. So right now we have a ship count of, I think, 16. That's mostly the equivalent of DMI fleet. Our latest UAV scans shows that they are building more, however, so we would like to certainly extend the alliance. But I would think that even with the aggressive rhetoric, if the alliance is big enough, they will not dare to attack us.
You are not a united force in this alliance. They can pick apart who they attack, pick their targets, and destroy them in detail.
Would they not also be able to do that if they were not in the defensive alliance?
They would indeed.
Yes.
However, when declaring war on such a large alliance, while possibly one faction might go down, at least they will have some form of support that could rescue or perhaps support the faction that is currently attacked. It is nonetheless a much greater chance at survival than standing entirely alone.
Also, I would like to turn the point against you. They will be focusing on, let's say, 2 or 3 factions, and the rest of the faction can perform a few precision strikes inside the territory and effectively cripple them. Rest can help rebuild the defensive pact members. I, for one, can say that BC would, and I think many others would too. So there is always 13 members. More enemies you are fighting.
If I can cut
We
across
do
all of the discourse for one moment, we are now straying into the territory of this becoming a war room and not a diplomatic meeting. I think what's fair to say is
war
that
is extension of diplomacy.
I agree. I mean, we're talking about this without even having DMI here, so it really does feel like a war room more than diplomacy.
I think, if nothing else, we can agree that a pact between interested parties stating that if we are to be attacked, then all interested parties on the treaty will immediately respond with military action of their own, while not necessarily any effect against DMI, and their vast resources serves the same purpose as a lock on a person's front door. It's not going to stop a determined robber, but it makes you sleep comfortable at night. And then, if we can all agree on that, I think we should move on to another topic on the agenda.
I'd like to add something to that.
Hmm.
The First Republic Expeditionary Fleet would indeed be open to guaranteeing the independence of certain factions, although not all of them. Would any faction here be open to that?
Wait, what'd
In
you say?
case as I was saying, the First Republic is open to guaranteeing the independence of certain factions. In case a faction were to be attacked, they would be protected by the First Republic Expeditionary Fleet.
I would like to discuss this further with both Sref and my co-leader of FCC. I'll get back to you on this topic.
And of course, Laz is
Copy
already
that.
flying the Sol Rep colors, so
Oh
we're
yes,
aligned there.
anyone attack in Solarep that is attacked by any other faction is immediately defended by SRF from any acts of aggression. In case DMI attempts to attack any SRF assets, we do not believe that they will be able to hold on to their global assets within the 24 hours of the conflict happening.
I might think about that, but I'd have to. I don't know. I'll get back to you another time about that.
Could you
Copy
please
that.
be more specific with some factions? That's quite broad.
Out of character, I cannot access any screens right now. I do not know who I'm talking to, neither do I know the faction names from my head. So that's the reason why I'm saying this.
Okay.
Like, it's purely OC. Anyways, back to NC. But for example, certain factions like VHC, the terms of their independence being guaranteed by us would have to be negotiated in detail.
That sounds a lot like extortion.
I would agree with that.
I would say it sounds more like being cautious of who we ally with.
The Fifth is ready to guarantee the independence of any nation, declaring that they will have a non-aggression pact to any faction aligned with the general goals of taking out the symbiote threat. No strings attached.
Okay, I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please? The network issues.
The 5th Assault Legion will guarantee the independence of any faction so long as said faction declares a full neutrality towards any faction that is not the symbiote.
I would say that's a reasonable request.
Put simply,
Lost
Full
Legion is ready to
neutrality-
make that
full
pledge
neu-
right here.
Put
Full
simply,
neutrality as... Yeah.
Put simply, what I'm saying is, any faction that signs this treaty that I am bringing forth will declare full neutrality to any other faction in the system, and in case their own independence is threatened by any faction, I am about to die. Give me a sec. I am out of oxygen. Just gonna go out here and I'll be back in a minute. Don't worry about it.
Due to SRF having defense pacts with certain factions, we will not be able to comply with the neutrality the requirement, I'm afraid.
That is up to your own. That's your own decision. However, essentially, if everyone declares neutrality, we'll defend your independence. That's it.
I mean, Laz is already aligned with Solret, but what I can say is that we don't intend to pick any fights, but that we will respond appropriately should a fight be with us. And I believe that that's the stance of a lot of other people.
Yes, I would prefer to establish a sort of system-wide defensive pact. Essentially, my goal is to have everyone in one big defensive pact, meaning that if anyone in the pact attacks any other person, the entirety of the system would enforce the absolute neutrality rule on the what is that called? Fuck, it's too late. Too late for me. On the faction breaking the rule. Can't find the word.
Transgressor.
Yeah. English is
I
not my
mean,
first
there is-
language, and it's way too late for me.
There already is such a defensive pact. You are always welcome to join it.
Yes, but my proposal
we would
is
all like to keep our independence. I think I can say that for all the members of our alliance.
to elaborate on my proposal. I would like to possibly dissolve that defensive alliance and start an entirely new one, perhaps branded as one that was established during this meeting, so that the connotations of why the original agreement was established is no longer attached to it, since the value and the signal of this alliance would be perhaps perceived less targeted against DMI, as it's somewhat plausible to do, and to be fair, not unwarranted, whereas a pact or a defensive alliance established during this meeting would be more of a system-wide, agreed-upon situation where it's less targeted at DMI, and it's more of a thing we all agree on, rather than a consequence of someone else's actions.
We can get behind that.
This might be my military background speaking, but that just seems like trying to appease someone he shouldn't be appeased.
I
But
mean,
we haven't even heard from them. Let's wait and see.
The thing is, I have a military background too, and a diplomatic background. What I would say is that Lazarus concur with what you've put forward there, RG. And on top of that, perhaps we modify the treaty with a caveat that it's for a specific period of time, a time that the council here present now can decide is sufficient in people to cool off and the tensions to go down. You know, once people's sabers are back in their holsters, then the treaty can fizzle out or expire, whatever you.
Personally, I would design it so that once a goal, for this goal being solving the symbiote problem, is accomplished, then the treaty would be absolved, contrary to a time period. Since that is ultimately why we're here.
What about non-combatant factions in this treaty?
Non-combatant. Non-combatant factions in this treaty would be defended by the combatant factions, and they are vital to the war effort against the symbiotes, and so I think that they should also be included.
Absolutely.
Perhaps a protectorate status for those, as in the factions that are not immediately combatants would be defended by the factions that do indeed declare themselves combatants.
I think that's more
And
than fair,
those factions, those protectorates would not be called into these conflicts, as they would have no meaningful way of assisting the war effort directly, and would indeed simply just endanger themselves.
So here's just an out of character thing. I don't think we should do it that way, simply because a lot of the tactics in Space Engineer specifically is like taking out supply routes, and that would literally just give us cells a loophole to keep our supplies like pieced out forever, which would make the war super fucking long, and long wars are super fucking boring. But I entirely get what you mean.
I mean, yeah, fair enough, but then those factions, like OC still, then the faction that we are at war with could declare war on the faction that's supplying us. It would be a logical
Not according to the
extension, I
current war rules. They would have to make an independent war against that independent faction, and that independent faction can only be declared war on if they have a fob. So,
Well,
so as long as they
that
don't build a
just smells
fob,
of
they can't be
bullshit.
declared war on. That's how the rules work
I
right
believe
now.
it's.
No,
I believe
no,
it's
no,
they
no,
can
no,
only declare
wait.
war if they have a fob.
No.
Anyone can be declared war on. I thought.
Yeah, exactly. What that
Okay,
guy
well,
said.
never mind then. Yeah, sure. That works. Works for me.
And I think the middle ground on that can simply be that non-combatant factions are guaranteed a degree of protection anyway, so long as they are aligned with defeating symbiotes and achieving the primary objective here. If it turns out that the non-combatant faction have aligned themselves with an aggressor, then that can be modified on an ad hoc basis.
So,
what will these alliances' stance be towards strategic weapons of mass destruction?
they would be discussed on a later date. Once relevant, I propose if we do this defensive alliance to handle the symbiote threat, I propose establishing a war council that would decide on how we militarily handle the symbiotes, as that would be a separate issue from general governance of the system, if that makes sense.
SRF, with this first Republic Expeditionary Fleet, would indeed be interested in some way, not full membership, at least not yet, but in some way being aligned with this alliance, perhaps. Would indeed be interested in that.
RCC is too.
Perhaps we
repeat
should.
last?
Perhaps we should hold a general referendum to see how many people are actually interested in such an agreement as has been proposed currently.
Well, as I said, the first Republic Expeditionary Fleet would not be. I would have to. Wait, how is the English word? Wait.
So, Unicoms
We
currently
wouldn't.
has a vote if you are generally interested in a system-wide defensive agreement lasting somewhat until the symbiotes have been handled. You can go and give it a thumbs up. This would be separate from the defensive pact currently established by LAS and BC and UGK and that group.
Yeah, so I can't actually access unicorns, but like act like I put a thumbs up there. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
To be clear,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. My faction's been trying their best to remain 100% neutral. I don't know if like I'm gonna follow you guys. You know, just not trading with DMI, but you know, joining alliances and everything else just kind of screams the opposite of remaining neutral. So
I mean, if that's the case, you remain a non-combatant faction, correct?
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. We are planning to like we're currently finishing up building a tier 3 warship. Sorry, tier 4 warship. But other than that, it's
what faction is this? I can't check.
That is ice.
It's ice. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to stay neutral because we want to sell to all. Our main export is hydrogen, but I don't know. Joining alliances doesn't really scream neutral to me.
The difference here is that this would be the general system treaty and not a traditional alliance in the sense of defensive pacts between factions.
Perhaps we can get a litigator from someone's faction to write it up properly at some point, but I think the general concept behind it is simply, should somebody find themselves the victim of let's say, unreasonable aggression from another faction, whose justification does not meet whatever criteria that we lay out are criteria satisfactory for the pact, then the pact is engaged and they are guaranteed a degree of defensive aid.
Imagine it like the UN back in 2013 on that planet that we don't remember the name of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, I'm afraid, would highly interfere with our defensive pact, because if any war is declared on our members, or should join the war, so I think in that case we would break the, what did you call it, absolute, what was the word? Remind me again.
Absolute neutrality?
Even in this,
Neutrality, yes, thank you. Because then
Even
we
in-
wouldn't be neutral. If any war is declared on the member of defensive pact, all members should answer the call. That's the point. It's defensive pact. It's against all wars.
even in this most important military operation of humankind, bureaucracy persists.
Well, I'm a man of precision. I would like to have everything agreed in the way that wouldn't interfere with one each other. While I support in some way the proposition made by the fifth, I still have to consider that there might be times we will have to join the war, independently of the Grand Alliance and only in our smaller defensive pact.
Then I think you should, how we call it? You should say it's not engaging the wider defense pact, only the small one.
I don't see a
Regarding
reason.
this, I have a proposal. How about instead of trying to talk it out now without not really knowing anything about it all that much, we wait until it's written properly. Then there could be, if the fifth is willing to host it, there could be another meeting where we finalize this whole
We have the space. We're happy to.
protective pact thing.
I think that sounds sensible, and Lazarus is more than happy to aid with the litigation of that.
The expeditionary fleet can offer suitable facilities for another meeting.
This facility is already constructed, and it is, of course, always available to the wider community.
I can't see if there's a facility or not. I'm just
sweet ass build.
Yeah, it's kind of dope.
It's kind of dope.
I respect that. Let's just go with that then.
So, summarize. Absolutely nothing has been decided.
Well, no, I think
Yes, the spirit of bureaucracy.
I think what we've decided is there is enough general interest in a pact of this nature that we can go forward with designing it and bring forward a proposal to the table at a future meeting like this.
In other words, we discussed the possibility of, in this meeting, we discussed the possibility of a meeting where we will discuss the possibility of another meeting discussing the possibility of a meeting.
That is entirely my problem.
I mean,
Welcome
that
to
is
the United Nations, baby.
Yeah,
I know.
So we've come to several conclusions. One, that there needs to be economic repercussions for DMI regarding their POW situation.
Yes.
Two, that enough people want to move forward with the idea of a defensive pact that it can be drawn up and submitted for consideration. As was recently mentioned, we'll get nowhere talking details right now. We need to have something concrete to discuss. So I think the meeting is moving forward, even if it is taking some time to do so.
I think it was quite productive. It is a first meeting, so you can't expect everything to be finalized in one meeting.
That is true.
Progress is there.
But
One thing I would like to discuss very seriously before we convene here, though. Do I mean convene? No, I don't. Whatever the fucking opposite of that is. I'm tired too.
We all are.
Yeah, before we bring it to a close, one thing I think we do need to discuss is unifying our stance on what we as the sector community are going to see as an acceptable boundary
Total
on
annihilation.
symbiote research? Yeah, okay. That's the bottom ground
Boundary
floor,
on
and where's
what?
the top? On
Boundary on what? Sorry.
research and experimentation on the symbiotes, because we have
You are
on
heavily
one
against that.
on one far camp we have total annihilation, and on, let's say, DMI's camp we have capture research and adapt to create new technologies.
Symbiotes are way too dangerous. We've seen this repeatedly, again and again and again. Every system I've been to with symbiote presence have been eaten up and swallowed and basically removed from the existence of the universe, and I cannot allow that to have any possibility of happening ever again. That's my stance.
I agree. I agree. I
agree.
agree with. I agree with Fifth. If you play with fire, you're going to get burned. Symbiotes deserve a fate of nuclear annihilation, which we will happily provide.
Okay, I agree with all that, but
They are an existential threat to humanity. and should be dealt
100%.
with
If
as
we
such.
don't do it, it's just going to have to be done later. We are in the best position in millennia to handle this threat, and if we don't do it, we're just going to doom our future generations to a life in terror of this
then-
organization, this organism.
Look, the next most important question then is, can we kill them? Do we have the technology? Do we have what's
That's where
necessary?
the research comes in.
Nuclear weapons seem to work against them from our experience, and we have received authorization to use them recently.
If
I
I,
will
may
say-
interject,
Yes, of course.
firepower isn't the problem. Information is. Do
Yes.
any of you know where the one is?
No.
None of you know.
Now, on the topic,
Neither
however,
do
I
we,
would.
but we do
I
believe.
do actually have something to say about this.
Okay.
Yes, as this has not yet been publicly announced, I suppose this is the first declassified mention of this. Only 2 units of SRF are currently in ATK-07. The rest of our other detachments are indeed outside of the system currently, following a English. Concerning assembly of symbiote ships.
The incoming fleet?
Look, OC, I don't know how to put this in fancy well. We find fleet outside of system, we send people to kill. I don't know how to say it in fancy English, I'm afraid.
Okay. So there's a symbiote.
You don't have to be fancy.
English hard, I'm tired.
That is very fair.
I was working 8 hours at the fucking wood chipper today. I'm tired. Yeah, right, sorry.
I looked at
once
in-game
what
chat
I
for a
was
moment,
saying.
and I should not have.
We do believe we have actual scientific proof that these symbiotes are holding information that could be beneficial to us. But we also wish to see them gone for good. So I would agree with the total annihilation, but we, as a collective, should research them in very, very secure manner and on very, very small proportions.
Perhaps we can agree to
This-
allowing research to be
I
conducted
do-
until the hive is taken care of.
I do believe that I have something important to say on this matter that might indeed interest all of you. Although I do believe this has been public knowledge, however, it has gone mostly unnoticed in Unicoms. Indeed, the symbiotes in the system seem to have trace signs of precursor technology present. Indeed, as some of you might know, the Crux itself is not a symbiote creation. Instead, it is a creation of the precursors, the ones which created the symbiotes, if my memory serves me right. I don't remember, OC. And this Crux has indeed already yielded us valuable research in the form of the anti-jump drive cannon. However, I suppose this isn't as much research on the symbiotes, rather the precursors.
to come back
go
on
on.
symbiotes research, I think it should be done in communal laboratories, not a laboratory that's owned and operated by a single faction. It needs to be a global effort. That way,
that's definitely fine.
Yeah, I agree.
We can
Oh,
ensure that
that is a dangerous slope. I'd say research on symbiotes will need to be very strictly controlled, and having multiple factions at once, all access to the one laboratory, which carries unnecessary risks. We are not opposed to multiple factions cooperating on symbiote research in these labs. Indeed, would rather prefer oversight committee, I do believe.
Some transparency would nonetheless be appreciated.
That's it. Transparency is what it all boils down to at the end of the day.
What we don't
For the
like is what
record,
DMI is doing. What we would like is doing what DMI is doing, but in a way where we know what's going on.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here for a second, but DMI wasn't really that secretive about it. They went out in the open. They probably knew their reaction was gonna be negative, so they didn't really share it immediately with everyone else. But they did go public with the information. So
that is true.
There was no secret. They were open with it.
To play the
I will
devil's
admit.
advocate for a second, the unicoms are indeed universal. They are available to both us and the symbiotes. If DMI were to give global access to this research, the symbiotes will also have access to it. And also this is to also to all of you. Watch out what you put into unicoms, the information about symbiotes. The symbiotes themselves can use it and learn from it.
Yeah, but that's literally DMI's problem. If they get attacked, it's their problem.
It's all of our problems if they share technology.
It's literally all of our problem if the symbiotes fix that.
If DMI have a super weapon and the symbiote's infected, then that super weapon turns against us.
Yeah, but what technology? What they're researching there is just taking control of the symbiote chip. It's not really any extra thing.
Yes, but if this were made global, the symbiotes could perhaps develop a countermeasure, for example.
I have to say, at this point in our species development, we are interstellar travelers capable of terraforming planet to ours and traveling to any corner of the galaxy. I frankly don't see what a threat this large could offer to us that we could not eventually discover through our own innovation. So far, all we have seen is a constant stream of death. For that reason, Laz is fully aligned with total annihilation.
So do I.
I have to object on a certain level, although it is not as much about the technology of the symbiote. Indeed, it is about the technology of the precursors. Were it not for that technology, this whole expedition would indeed be impossible.
Is there anyone who is actually opposed to total annihilation of the symbiote?
Oh no, kill them all.
Probably the symbiotes.
Probably the symbiotes, but is there anyone except the symbiotes who are...
If you're a symbiote, put your hand up. Legally, you have to tell us.
I'm just interested if there's anyone who's opposed to the total annihilation of the symbiote, or if anyone wishes to preserve the species in any capacity.
No, just kill them all.
In that case, this is a lot of idle chatter for very little progress.
Agreed.
But
I think it's much more important that we discuss how we wish to handle the symbiote threat.
Nuclear hellfire is my proposal.
Yes, but a coordinated, coherent force attacking the symbiote would be much more efficient than 700 factions doing their own little bit.
Well, we need a target.
That is true.
Because at the moment, we only have general targets for the factions to make general attacks.
Indeed, the one is currently rather elusive. However, those symbiotes behemoths seem to be appearing more and more as of late. Those are the only really known static symbiote targets other than that control point we destroyed not too long ago.
And that's when the research comes in. We need to agree what type of research is acceptable and which one isn't. We are not going to stumble upon the symbiote main organism by just poking at every rock. We need to scientific approach.
Well, I propose a research that will allow us to develop weapons to combat them specifically, and I would suggest banning any sort of completely banning any sort of research which would have items such as inputting symbiote DNA into other organic bloodstream in any capacity. That is just pure playing with fire.
That I think is most reasonable. And with that, I would like to share with you a little trick. If you want to research symbiote, do it on Reich. Those little bastards don't like fire.
Indeed. Also, gold repels them.
Sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
Gold repels the symbiotes, from what I know.
I'm afraid
God
that's no
repels
longer
the
true.
symbiotes?
I think so, yeah.
What?
I'm afraid that they
If
already
that's
evolved beyond this, let's say, weakness.
This is pure speculation at this point, but not too long ago, the AI known as Warmind seemed to become infected with some strain of something symbiote related. There was, of course, the report that was put into the Unicom's network, and actually we dispatched an operative to the bunker before it was resealed to have a poke
We
around.
currently control the bunker.
Good. I'm glad that it's in. I'm glad that it's secured. But the reason I'm bringing that up, the symbiote was able to infect that AI, and the AI was able to retain a degree of its own consciousness whilst also acting somewhat under the influence of the symbiote that had infected it. Given that the symbiote is a hive mind entity, and we know that they all talk to each other through whatever means that may be.
I'm afraid you are mistaken.
Oh, please correct me.
Yes, from whether the research could tell me and from the testimony of the AI itself, however unreliable it is, it appears that the corruption of the AI indeed, while it might have been catalyzed by the symbiotes, or the symbiote outbreak indeed, was simply happened due to the passing of time. As time passes, small bits of itself were starting to be replaced by other bits. It started quoting the, if I do believe from what our interrogation officer's report I was given, the AI started to bring up the old story of the ship of Theseus while concerning its status. We have purged most of symbiote influence in that bunker. However, due to us currently working basically as a skeleton crew in this system, due to most of us going out to hunt the symbiotes outside this system, or rather on the very edges of it, we are facing a difficult situation in containing that bunker indeed.
The reason I bring up the AI in relation to the symbiotes, given that the symbiotes are connected through whatever means their hive mind communicates, and they all seem to know the location of each other at all times, I wonder if it's feasible for us to engineer some sort of system which, if infected with the symbiote, could yield the information of either more behemoths or even this hive mind known as the One. Could we reverse engineer that whatever system it is that they use to track each other's whereabouts to pinpoint on the map to us where they are? Because at least having a unified target would give us something to attack with extreme prejudice.
How do we know that all of them know where they are all at the same time?
To be
How
fair,
do we know
something
that?
something as
Observation and
simply as just
research.
sending out scout ships might be a good first step.
It's speculation, but when information was put into the Unicoms from the behemoth that was recently attacked, it did, unless I'm interpreting it wrong, was there not a mention found on board there of a symbiote somewhere being captive?
Yes,
And
I
if
do
that's
believe. I know. Wait, if my memory serves me right, it was some sort of corruption on DMI. If I recall correctly, they tried to play it off
would
as
have to
their
look back at it.
experiments going.
But I have some vague
Yes.
memory of it reporting that a symbiote was captive, and if it knows that a symbiote is captive, then it must have some way of locating it.
Perhaps it's as simple as a both a
Interesting.
transmitter on the receiver.
Well,
Oh, is the
communication
HC
does not necessarily
representative here?
mean. My apologies, comms officer.
Is the HC representative here?
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe I have a message for you. I've been authorized by the authority to tell you that our deal is now active. Let's say.
That's wonderfully cryptic.
Indeed.
Moving on. The meeting is dragging out quite long, discussing details regarding a research paper. Perhaps the parties with information regarding symbiotes should just find a meeting time for them to compile all known information regarding symbiotes and then bring that forth at the next assembly so that the rest of the system might be enlightened as to the findings that they have made. Is that a suitable proposal?
I think that's fine.
We can host group of sorts, Discord group chat or like Discord, like Discord server, where this information could perhaps be shared. Although I do believe that the HC representative had a question.
Yes, we have a lot of data on the symbiotes. Their ships, their designs, their weapons, their tactics.
Yes.
Very good. Sci-fi, could I persuade you to work with the other faction leaders who also has information regarding the symbiotes to compile a document for the entire system to review?
Acceptable.
Very good. In that case, I believe we should move on as time
May I just
is
note-
running fast.
May I just note to not reveal the extremely important information in Unicom so the symbiotes can access it, please?
Let us share it by let's share it by datapad the next time we meet.
Yeah.
I would
Or
like
just closed connection.
Yes.
So, as the Fleet Admiral Hawthorne said earlier today, the main way to damage and destroy symbiotes is via nuclear weapons. I'm going to ask bluntly, who here has nuclear weapons?
We'll have plenty.
So, off-game question, nuclear weapons means fucking what? There's nothing that is marked nuke in the game.
Yes.
We have our ways.
Big boom.
And nuclear weapons are not needed. Artillery is already enough most of the times.
I mean, the shells.
How
The
about
shells
nuclear
are.
artillery?
The artillery shells are laced with uranium anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, but that's depleted uranium. That's not how it works.
Fuck's sake. All right, moving on.
That's how uranium
works.
What I wanted to say is, since refs looks like they have nuclear weapons, I think RCC could help producing some and distributing them if needed.
No, we do have nuclear weapons.
Yes, you do.
Wait, I thought you. Wait, OC, okay. Oh no, OC, I heard you say we didn't. That was my mistake from hearing. I'm fucking tired.
If you send us a blueprint, we can make more nuclear weapons and.
That's a strong negative. That's a strong negative, I'm afraid.
I was trying
We are not sure.
Better good.
We are not sharing nuclear weapons designs with you, I'm afraid. Those are fully classified.
Hey,
We will.
We shall develop our own. Moving on. So, okay. Fuck. is do we wish to make any form of organization that coordinates the military power of the system in relations to the symbiotes and the symbiotes only, or shall we all act independently of each other? What is the consensus?
Why don't we wait until such a time as we have an ability to pinpoint specific symbiote targets and then form a council when that's feasible?
Well, that's just asking for bureaucratic trouble when that actually happens.
Yeah,
That's
as
going
well
to take a
as
while to make us on a single ship move. So on this topic, we would be open to this, although I do believe that inviting every single faction to it at once would simply cause chaos, making any other military forces unusable. I would recommend adding trusted military, good, well-trained military factions to this group, just to better coordinate it and not involve civilians in it.
there are no civilians in this system.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you are right. I misspoke. I mean, look. I don't want trading ships to just fucking jump alongside our warships. You know, that will just cause chaos.
Ayo, if a pilot is a pilot in my book. Regardless,
Yeah.
having a unified structure means that we could make the process of locating and destroying symbiote targets much, much more efficient. Even finding them. Recon is a big part of any military, and an entity such as what I'm proposing would be able to coordinate the recon missions that are necessary to locate targets for the general fleet.
I think coordinating recon is important, and also establishing an information clearinghouse that is not Unicoms, where we can share information and not have it known by the symbiote.
Glenn, you
telling them
motherfucker, just
where they
sitting
are.
there. Oh, I hate this.
Oh wait, is Glenn in this voice chat?
Yeah, and he's been it for a while.
Yeah, every now and then it says streaming, and I'm like, what is Glenn cooking up
Oh
over there?
god.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, fuck.
Oh god.
My nerves could
God,
not
his-
take not mentioning it anymore.
God himself is looking down upon us since Jesus Christ.
I'm staring at the glass dome roof, waiting for something to crash the fuck through it.
Yeah. Quick,
No,
lads,
I know-
praise
I
the
know-
Oracle. Praise the Oracle.
I know who to scam. I know who to scam. Glenn will can I get $500,000,000 GURP roll club? Yes.
Anyway.
Fucking cash in here can do it now. Alright.
Back on
Fucking
topic.
fashionably late.
Oh yeah, this bureau is just fucking showing up now. It's great. Oh yeah, a really quick summary of what we've been discussing. A trade embargo on DMI until the prisoner of war / research facility issue is resolved. This mainly revolves around some prisoners of war that are uncomfortably close to a research center that is researching symbiotes. The two main problems is human rights for the prisoners of war and the possible genetic breeding ground that it supplies symbiotes with if any accident happened. That's the first point. And what we want to do is trade embargo them on everything until they have resolved this issue, after which the embargo would be lifted. The second thing we've been talking about is a system-wide defensive pact, which would assure neutrality between all signatories so that we can focus on the greater threat, which is the symbiote. And this, there's not a lot of details regarding this right now, but the basic overview of what it should become is something akin to nobody fucking attack each other until the symbiotes are dealt with. When the symbiotes are dealt with, the defensive pact, quote unquote, will be dissolved. The main point on this is that it would be a system-wide decision to establish it, and not as a result of another faction's actions. So the connotations that it brings with it is less hostile. And now we're talking about, we talked a bit about research. A research paper will be published for the wider system to review, and now you should be caught up, basically.
Got a question right in the beginning. Has anyone yet to survive symbiote matter in the body?
No. I mean, Look, I'ma be at that point that you have actual symbiote DNA or matter in your body. You're probably dead. Like,
You're not.
hmm?
You're not. It's like a
I, I,
poison.
I
It
mean,
seems.
yeah, but I mean, like, they're really. I mean, if you yes,
Sure
if
happens to
you
be a
have
wee bit
symbiote
fucked.
material like in your
Short time
arm, for example,
exposures
and then you
will
cut
not
off that
kill you.
arm, then yes, you indeed might survive if you cut
Indeed,
off that
you need
arm.
to
But
cut off
then
all
this,
of my
but
shit.
if that symbiote material is able to persistently remain in the body, it will eventually spread all throughout, multiply, and take over the host organ. The host
The
organism.
reason, there's a simple reason why NRS has been like holding back the last 6 weeks, was because we had a little run-in with a couple symbiotes we were setting up. I cannot tell you guys directly where we live, but let's just say you've got a problem with DMI, and yeah,
We
we
know
are kind of
we know the location. We can try to assist.
yeah, we are really close to that. But before DMI even like claimed everything and stuff, we had problems with symbiotes, and we had a little fight. One of my ships, got fucked up completely. Our first defense ship, and I got pretty much, how do you say it, a high velocity piece of symbiote ship right through where one of my kidneys was. Is a good thing because good old RG here already shot that one out, so there wasn't that much tissue. It was all basically scar tissue. That's probably how I survived. But ever since then, need basically every couple days, need my blood cleaned, need to check my immune system, check my vitals, and it's slowly going up. But how do I say it? It attacks the entire body. Respiratory system got attacked. Pretty much every organ got a rupture in my guts too. Punctured right through there. High speed. I would say possibly like we're talking like a very small fragment, not bigger than a bullet, probably like 200 meters a second or something like that. They basically crashed into my ship, crashed through my cockpit, like completely pierced through it. Nearly died because of it. So that's also why I might need to ask the fifth for those plasma bags, because we're running out. Because I need those.
We got them coming.
I would probably, hit the grave too early.
I do believe that one of our experimental medicinal programs could possibly help you, although that is a very experimental, unclassified matter. I'm afraid I can't tell you more unless you were to agree.
Of course,
We've already
I
offered.
will agree, because everything helps. Because it's going to be a lot of treatment. But yeah, I'm going to state this right now. NRS, we will not fight against DMI unless they fight us. All of you guys know how NRS stands against people who try to like oppose stuff. It takes a bit of poking, but in the end, if it goes too harsh, we will find a way to resolve the issue. But right now, we are focusing fully on our anti-symbiote fleet. We're producing ships, ammunitions in great numbers, and we are ready to. We soon will be ready to have a QRF to actively hunt down symbiote groups. Yeah, that is pretty much it concerning this part of the meeting from my side.
I do actually have received a request for a possible technological exchange request with the fifth, actually, if you will be open to hearing that right now.
You can contact me later regarding this if it doesn't concern the entirety of the system.
No.
Also, I'm tired as fuck.
Yeah, I
No,
think.
And we have a solar flare coming in under 10 minutes,
Yeah.
so we should
Trying to wrap this
up
up in 6 minutes, our last guys. You know, been trying for a while.
I think we left off discussing how to execute the continuing war against the symbiotes and talking about
how do we wish to
recon.
organize? How do we wish to organize the? Fucking hell! It's too late. Yeah. How do we wish to organize the military forces of the system currently?
Okay.
Well, perhaps
don't think this
splitting
is a question that can be
the
answered.
no, but like
Sorry.
a very general, or in a very general manner, perhaps the forces could be split into tiers. For example, factions that are experts at warfare are trained in warfare fully. For example, Fifth, our faction, to some extent, I would indeed say the Hyperion Cooperative. Those will be tier 1 factions, and those will be the
Not
tip
including
of
me.
the spear,
Kinda
so
sad
to
about
say.
that
Well,
one.
huh?
You're not including me. Kind of sad about that one.
I don't know what faction are you? I can't.
JB&B. I was in JB&B QRF, Quick Reaction Force,
JB.
against symbiotes.
What's your name? What's your name? Because I can't check
It's
the.
the Spiro.
The Spiro. Oh, okay, that's the Spiro. Okay.
My proposal is somewhat different, as I very much agree that we must locate the symbiote in order to shoot at them. Pretty fucking simple. And so my proposal would be to use the claim system to delegate areas of the system to be scouted by individual factions, and each faction could bid on an area that they would provide recon for. And
Do you want to play? You want to play ship sinking?
I want to play. I want to play ship sinking. I want to start from one end. I want to scan the entirety of the sector. Then I want to stop there. I want to declare it cleaned. Then I want to go to the next sector.
I bet 5,000 groupers DMI will see this at some point as aggression and will use that as provocation material.
The thing is, if we open a channel, if we make a channel, if somebody programs a channel where every faction or every person that has, we should have like per faction, probably the leaders should be able to post messages to that channel, and they should be able to post reports there. They will post like, went to N5, 2 times symbiote bugs, 1 time symbiote, I don't know what the fuck name they got. But you basically post the report, and then we try to triangulate based on how many ships in which sector and how big of a category the ships have, and that way we can trace to where they come from, or if they have an outpost somewhere. Because if they have an extremely high density somewhere, I mean, it's quite obvious that we should possibly like send out a search team, and then we coordinate from there.
That would be a very sensible way to go about it.
And we need a way to trace information that is not Unicom.
It's not Unicom, because that way we can track it.
Out of character, we're digging way too deep into something that's basically admin spawn ship.
I don't know what kind of wizardry Glenn has done, but maybe listen.
That Glenn is in here, and he might, write it down and use it. Glenn is sitting literally in here.
You might be like, "That's a really good idea they have. Maybe I should let them do that."
The station gets hit. We got 2 minutes before the flare comes in.
All right, moving on. Gotta get done, guys.
I think all of the points on the agenda have been dealt with.
Pretty much.
RG, we'll reach out to you regarding the treaty and actually getting it written down.
Please do, because my brain's dead.
Yeah, and we can do that in the coming days.
Question. We mentioned earlier how there was going to be a second meeting in order to finalize everything we discussed today. Do we already know when that's going to be, or?
Absolutely no clue. Maybe.
I think it should be open. We need to have some combat. We need to do down basic stuff. RG, I will tell you basic. We should set up that channel as soon as possible. And if we have questions, anyone has questions about symbiotes or anything, me and I think RG and the 5th have been there when the first symbiote ships arrived in the previous systems with the probing ships and the swarm ships. So we kind of know what kind of scheme they take. Even though it's now their system, but they will possibly pull out some old strategies too. So yeah, if anyone has questions regarding symbiote strategies, feel free to send Type B messages.
We've been fighting symbiotes for over 2 decades, some over 3 decades. We know how to kill bugs.
There's plenty of new faces in here. Yeah.
That's
I
a fair
have been
point,
there
actually.
on
Point taken.
Surplexia. I know them.
Right.
Anything else?
Kill symbiotes, yes, nuke.
It's very good. I'm quickly gonna go take a screenshot of
Don't
all the
underestimate
ships
them.
all together. Very out of character thing. Just need a picture. Need this goddamn.
Can we just go full OC? I'm fucking tired. This is end of meeting.
This
Yeah.
is very much end of meeting.
Yeah, this is the end of
All
meeting.
right.
Check out my ride.
Right,
Shift
everyone
into
now.
fire.
My station. I've had enough of you. It's been 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm saying.
It's been 2
yeah,
hours.
I'm saying
I
we
don't know
don't
what you
got
mean.
no
It's been
nukes.
like 1 hour from half hour.
The only thing that has
I mean, it's
been ultimately decided is the oh my god. Dawn, would you also
We
write up the
decided that-
declaration of trade embargo on DMI, please?
we've decided that we will have another meeting to decide the possibility of another meeting. Yes.
Alright, we decided for a full trade embargo on DMI.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just.
I know.
Let me out.
Also, technically, we haven't agreed to. SRF hasn't technically agreed to that, by the way.
Also, what is going to be happening with the alliances if we all are happy and stuff? So the alliance wars are going to happen afterwards, or what? In case if
What
one
do
of
you
the
mean by
alliances
alliance?
decides to fight against each other.
Right now,
Well,
looks like
I
they're gonna
say
happen
that's
after.
After.
Yeah, I say that's a thing to worry about if it actually happens.
What if they pressure us so we will just ignore them? Well, we need to all agree to that. That we ignore. NRS will not join any alliance even afterwards. We will not join any alliance.
Fifth
We will
has
make that clear right now.
I mean, is there any dumb Musk Empire people here?
We will stay neutral at all costs. As we
Fifth is
always
only
do.
loyal to Callahan and Callahan
Yes,
only.
and ICE will not sell any hydrogen to DMI, but someone mentioned that they were gonna buy hydrogen from us, the 5th.
Yeah, Fifth will buy hydrogen from
Oh,
Ace.
alright.
Wait,
So whenever needed, my type beam is
curiosity,
open always.
what's
so
your
just-
price?
Yep.
What's the price per megaliter?
Megaliter, I have no clue, but I sell by that large tank.
Yeah, how much for one?
Oh, right now, I mean, there's nothing much going on. There's not much demand, so it's about 100k per large tank.
We will order 100. Yes, 100.
100 tanks.
Yeah, I mean, you say 100,000 GURPs for one tank, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 100,000 tanks. Sorry, 100 tanks. Sorry.
All right, so they'll go.
We would
to-
prefer
And
buying
then-
raw ice,
Oh, raw ice.
if that's possible.
It's possible. It'll be a little bit more difficult, but that's. Yeah, we can
Yes,
do it.
for 10 million GURPs, 100 hydrogen large tanks, yes.
Guys,
Yeah.
the meeting is over or not?
Yeah,
Did the
yeah,
server
we will buy
crash?
Restart.
No, it restarted.
Okay.
All right, I can fulfill that. Just whenever needed, just contact me via Tybeam, and I'll bring you the tanks. We should already have enough. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, just send me a message now, and I'll tell
Yeah.
you when it's ready.
I will tomorrow because right now it's 1 a.m. and I
Yeah.
have to be very fucking quiet not to wake anyone up.
Just send me a message now so
Please.
I remember who it is, because there's a
I
lot.
cannot. My phone is blocked. I cannot.
Oh,
I
rip.
can only talk. This is my only way of communication with world.
I'll DM
You guys know how long,
Scheme.
how many jumps I need to jump back?
How many?
At least
Fucking
2.
18.
I'll give you a
What kind of abomination are you flying that has that short range?
merge to my ship. I'll give you a boost.
It's a tier 4 with exactly 6,000 blocks and 2 jump drives. I need to slap 2 more jump drives on there, or 4 more.
Or I'll give you
Jesus
I'll
Christ.
merge to your ship
Yeah,
and just give you a boost.
Whoever was interested in getting ice, yeah, we can do it.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go on patrol anyway, so I'm just gonna jump like 1 times jumps away from you guys. That's like 700. It's good. It's fine.
Oh god,
You
No,
just
it's
hear all the
not
keyboard
symbiote.
start typing.
oh, god damn it! I need to change the map again.
Is this the end now? Because I really want to fucking
Yes,
go.
go.
It's
Leave.
over, yeah.
Whoosh.
I need to change
Alright.
MC's.
Alright. Don't let symbiotes bite. Kill a symbiote in UK. Yes, goodbye.
Goodbye. God.
I need to change the map. MC no longer owns that sector.
Wait, did they?
Oh.
Jeez.
The station's not. The claim station's down, so I assume GCP owns it now.
I suppose.
I need to swap it to green.
Very good. Well, Fifth will withdraw into their own chambers or whatever.
I need to fix my ship.
I'm
For
sticking with
somebody.
That was some nice escort flying you guys did there.
You will
Thank
leave
you.
here, yes, man.
If anyone needs to contact me
pretty cool.
regarding guarantees or similar, Tide Beam is always open.
Man, that was some cool. I was like, what are they doing? They're like, oh, they're escorting me.
Oh, no, couldn't run.
But like already, I was hovering over the Gatling guns. You saw how many Gatling guns my ship has? Fucking the defense base.
Yep.
Fucking Seawis. You would have stood no chance. Fucking. It's basically a long distance. Did you see that my ship has like the fucking trident underneath?
Oh god. Man. That is this close to being the worst outcome of a meeting ever.
Jesus.
I fucking know.
Thank
RG,
God I
2 in the
wasn't-
morning,
was only
what
there
the
for like
fuck?
the last 10 minutes.
I'm dying inside. Also, I'm still
I-
streaming, Kizu, just so you know.
That's fine.
Okay. What the fuck was that? Totally out of character. That was so that was hell. That's every meeting ever. Like, it's time to make rapid decisions, and it's like, let's postpone it by a meeting.
No, shut the fuck up for a moment. Like, you people cannot decide on anything.
I know.
You need someone who will tell you this is what we do. Like,
Isn't that what meetings are for? To just not decide on anything and delay it?
9 out of 10
Yes.
times, yeah. But
Alright, I'm gonna ask
goddamn.
the following question. Is there a ship I can squat on? I do not have my own ship.
Yes, you can spawn on the Saker.
I think it said
Okay,
squat.
Yeah,
I said squat.
Yeah, you
but
can
not
squat
spawn.
on the station until you build your own ship.
Right, and building a ship, I'm obviously gonna first build in creative, test it out, but like, is there like some quicker way for me to build in survival, or
Yes,
do
yes,
I?
there is.
Yeah, we can build it in like an hour in survival, pretty easy.
Get the blueprint, and then the rest will be done.
Okay.
Make sure to do a convenient, what's we call it, connector on it.
I'll do
otherwise, the problem
something.
I have.
I won't do anything large, like. Mainly because if I do something large, I feel like a form of bite to server rules over there.
I'll load the fireflies back into your ship, Slime.
Oh,
yeah.
Everything's loading in there. Jeez.
How much you want to bet someone's going to crash into something?
I fucking hope not.
That's why I parked my ship a bit away from the rest.
Yeah.
How did we not agree to anything, man?
To be fair.
Everyone had their own agenda. And,
I couldn't even get them to sign the defensive treaty. Like, holy fuck.
The only thing we got was DMI and the ice trading thing.
Yeah, and that was like nothing.
Yeah, fair. We got the embargo done, and we got the.
I mean, the embargo is nice, 100%, but like, it could have been so much better.
Yeah.
Also, Timeless, do you want to pick up your own Firefly?
It's in
the freighter,
Bubbles'
yeah.
ship. Yeah.
My ship.
It's already in Bubbles' ship. I don't think I can
So you
find it.
already picked it up. Okay.
I don't know what it's with
I've
it,
already
but
preloaded it in
I
there.
feel like I managed it quite well, but I just could not be like because for me it's a lot of having to also manage our own image, and I could not be that as aggressive on some of the issues as I wanted to be yet.
Yeah. All right.
Annoying.
I don't want to be as aggressive. Persist to say such on a live stream.
Alright, we'll take the light and Godhammer out now then.
Archie, if you want to say classified stuff, the first thing you do is you stop the stream on youtube.com. You know?
What?
If you want to say classified stuff that the rest shouldn't know, the first thing you do is you stop the stream on youtube.com.
Oh. People can figure out how not to do a meta game, and if they can't, then we'll just declare on them.
Right, bet.
I'll keep back the fucking answer. If they can't, we declare war.
No, it's just I trust people can manage not to metagame.
I don't.
Yeah, well, if they can't, then what? We'll just declare war on them. I mean,
We'll
what?
just declare war. Every Secretary of Defense for the United States ever.
Yeah, like if they can't play by our rules, then we declare war. No, I generally want to go from a perspective of trusting people. I always want to meet people with trust, and an RP game won't work without that. So.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody was trying to pull something.
Nobody.
Look, no. I was trying to pull something. I was contemplating shooting all the diplomats, but then again, y'all told me not to, so.
Yeah.
No, I literally stood behind RG in the.
I looked like, for a moment, for a good while, I looked like the insane dictator that showed up just to flex his muscles. Which, I mean, to be fair, I did really try and flex my muscles with the station and the ships we had and everything.
Yeah, look, I was watching your stream for a moment, and the desire to just, what was it? To just
Light up
blow your
everyone.
head open. No, your head specifically, because I was pointing my gun at you. You, of course, didn't recognize that because you were watching your back. You're not paranoid enough, RG. You need to be more paranoid if you're gonna be a Grand Admiral.
No.
How the fuck did I fall for the world? What? Hello?
Who's taking the EC ship?
No one's taking the EC ship right now, I think.
No, who's moving it from the station?
Lads,
I'm
who's
not
in the
touching
EC
it.
ship?
Where are you?
No, who drove it here? I think it was
Val
Bubble.
drove it here. I don't know
No,
if Val's
Val
still in
wasn't.
game.
No, he
he's
left.
not.
I left. Yeah.
I will stay here for now. I'll pick it up later.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I don't mind having a warship here. I mean, technically, we've also just agreed to guarantee every single faction that asks us to.
Yeah. So what we've agreed
That's
to
kind of
is
stupid. Huh?
Just like old times.
Just
Yeah.
like old times.
we've agreed to, definitely all factions getting ice from ice.
Yeah.
Let's see, a research state thing. What else? And trade this annoying DMI.
Yeah. I'd really hope that they would. I really hope DMI would have showed up, had the shitty rhetoric, and then get fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Call
could we
everybody
consider like
leftist
enemy here?
cuck.
Hey.
Hey, that's kind of sus.
No
you know?
politics in my stream.
I mean,
Alright.
they said it first.
They did.
Now.
Okay, what's with this lag?
People,
Everyone's moving.
all of the ships are being unstationed at the same time and jumping away. So
Yep.
there's a lot of calculations right now.
I'm too lazy to log back in. I'm just gonna leave my ship there. So
Oh yeah, it's fine. Leave it as much as you want. It's pretty safe
Understand.
here. I just want to say, absolutely insane station. That's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Very good card
Oh hell yeah! I'm hearing the voices again.
Oh god.
Alright, we're good.
Alright. Well, with a successful meeting behind us, and I think we got a good image. I think we. What do you think? How do you think it went for us?
I think it went well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think our image is better than when we started now.
Seem reasonable.
Yeah. I feel like I seemed like the DMI, but if they were not. Oh my fucking god!
What'd you do?
I accidentally fired off. I'll get out of this chair.
Tap if you want to. Oh, CBT and
Yeah, I'm gonna take a seat. I'm gonna take a seat. I know. I
You
know
also
which one.
CBT, otherwise I'm just gonna leave you behind.
No, sit your ass down
Oh,
quickly.
yeah, wait, let me get in there. Let me get in this bitch.
There's a couch here, very comfy.
I shot this Spiro.
Okay, Arjun, let's discuss the most priority stuff so everyone can hear it.
No, I'll discuss it as much as I want. They won't metagame. Scheme won't metagame.
Yeah.
Yes. Everyone seated?
Yep.
You mean she? Was it
Scheme. No, stop. Shut up. I know a person who had that name. That's the only reason I fucked it up.
Yeah.
Tatlum seated.
I am seated. For fuck's sake, I am seated on the corner couch.
I am sitting.
Yes.
My god. I also don't have HUD on or anything. Everything was set up for the perfect mistake to happen. That was so bad.
Yes.
Good diplomatic meeting.
Good diplomatic meeting. and I accidentally shot at this Spiro. Oh my god.
Multiple text dollars.
I
That is your perfect diplomatic meeting. Congratulations, sir, to your
You
official
find a missile,
diplomat.
that's something.
Yeah. I accidentally just left click.
Successful missile hit in the server against another player.
All of it hit. I am so sorry.
Also, Temnus?
Yeah.
Firefly is still in the freighter. Yours.
Is it? I don't remember building in this one.
There's one of yours here.
Oh.
Yeah, you built this one.
Oh, must have. Oh yeah, I built two.
So why do they
Painted one
have
blue that you took down? There are two on the freighter, and I have only know where one is because I painted the other one blue.
Okay, because one was going down to Walanda and I took it back in space.
Oh yeah.
I think the funny part was with Mode. He was told to not do anything or
My fucking
do weird things, and then we find him next to a dead body.
What did you all do? What did you do?
Just having a run around. Why are you doing that?
Oh my god.
And then we see him very suspicious next to a dead body.
Oh my god.
Like murder in broad daylight.
Who did you kill? What happened?
Nobody.
Oh my
Just suffocated.
Did you just suffocate?
I almost died from exhaustion.
Just at the point where he was standing next to it.
Oh,
and
Incognito straight up just
pushed it
locked out in
back.
one of our chairs. He's just sitting there. He just dipped. Oh, that's alright. We forgot to tell them that we want to claim like all of the Oh, am I crashing? No, okay.
Yes, you're very much crashing, Arjun. Yes, you're about to crash.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna warn you now. If you want to get out before the gravity gets weird, I would do it now.
Before the what gets weird?
If you don't do it, just stay seated.
You might want to see the damage he did to my ship.
No, you don't.
I want all of that.
What the fuck is this place?
Is it like really big?
It's a weapon plant.
Right.
I'm
That is.
heading to bed.
The International
Yeah, that's
Space
in the
Station
Good night, guys.
drugs.
Yeah.
Good night.